So the Dems have decided to defund your police, and I think conservatives should start using that phrase, defund your police, don't use the defund the police. Because that's the thing, the taxpayer pays for the police, and the police are the ones who protect them, and in return the Dems are like, no, none of that, anarchy. So they've done that, and what have they done in return? Well, they've made sure that they're fine. They've either hired private security, or rerouted the police budget to be protecting them. And you might think this is a one-off with a couple of Democrats. No, there's loads of them. So the first article here is from Forbes, in which they have listed here, Democratic mayors defunded their police while spending millions on their own police protection.
And that's not millions out of their own pockets, is it?
No, with these mayors, it's all public money that they've just said is theirs. So in 25 major US cities across the country, officials have already cut or have proposed cutting funds from the police budget. However, in as many as 20 of those same cities, mayors and other city officials enjoy the personal protection of dedicated police security detail. In many of these cities, this security costs the taxpayer millions of dollars per year. We found that the defunding of police, coupled with the taxpayer dollars spent on the police security details protecting public officials, only occurred in cities run by Democratic mayors.
The grift is real.
25 cities.
Good God.
All the same story. Democratic mayor, defund the police, screw the plebs, but also, don't cut my protection. I need the police. Why? Because I'm the mayor. What about the plebs? I don't need it. They're just plebs. Who cares? I just can't get over how just blatant it is. And then they give the examples, and of course the examples are as bad as you might think. So the first one here being Chicago with, was it Mayor Lightfoot?
Lori Lightfoot, yep.
Lady who looks like a fish. Just going to say it. She
looks like Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Just going to say it.
The city spent $17.3 million between 2015 and 2020 to guard unnamed city officials. That's Mayor Lori Lightfoot, and she's opposed to defunding the police, while we found that she took 400 police officers' positions and cut them from 2020 budget. So publicly she's like, yeah, I'm not for defunding the police, but also cut the police budget. Get rid of 400 of them.
But also spend money on guards for me.
Yeah, but also in 2020, that was the peak for the amount of money spent on guards for her. God. $700,000 up, with an average of 2.8 mil just to protect her.
Good God.
San Francisco, California. The city spent $12.4 million between 2015 and 2020 to protect the mayor, London Breed. That San Francisco's officials promised to divest $120 million from police over 2 years and reallocate the money to health programs and workforce training.
See, if they're not doing it for themselves, you can guarantee that it's not to your advantage to have no police around. I don't know why I have to say that. But for some reason, this is something to be noted. If the people who are rich and powerful are using your money to protect themselves, well, you might want them to use your money to protect you as well. Democrats.
I just can't. It's so blatant. I don't know what to say. Like, she spent $12 million on herself over 5 years to protect herself because she needs the police, but she cut $120 million from the police budget, and then decided to reinvest it in health programs. Like, right, every goddamn time. The mayor's police security detail cost spiked at nearly $1 million over the past 5 years. So, New York City mayor as well. The city slashed $1 billion from its $6 billion police budget in 2021, reallocating $354 million to mental health, homelessness, and education services.
So where did the rest of that money go? Where did the other 2/3 of $1 billion go? Who knows?
Just saved money, I guess.
I'll tell you what, man, if there's one place on earth that you don't want them to be cutting the police budget, it's probably New York.
I mean, that's the thing as well. Like, all these cities are the places, as foreigners, you just, like, what do you hear about them? Crime?
Yeah.
Constantly?
Rampant.
I mean, like, what was it? Detroit or whatever Lori Lightfoot's place is?
Yep.
It's just, like, whenever you hear about it, it's just people being killed. New York, you just hear about people being killed. Yeah, but let's cut the budget there by 1/6. So the only
suicide.
The only saving grace here is they note that the cuts mostly haven't materialized yet. So they've been passed, but they haven't fully come in, so they could stop them. Is the mayor going to? I propose not. So that's Mayor Bill de Blasio, who sports an NYPD security detail. Meanwhile, the NYPD has not yet responded to our open records request for detailed costs of information. So New York police weren't given the information just yet. Sure they're working on it furiously. And then it goes on. Baltimore, Maryland, the city spent $3.6 million on the mayor. They also cut $22 million from the budget. And then San Diego, California, they spent $2.6 million on the mayor there. The mayor also cut $4.3 million from the police budget. And it just goes on and on and on. Like, if you can scroll, you can just see all the different cities they list. And it's endless. Just every single time, every single city, Democrat mayor defunds your police, spends on themselves. And
incidentally, the crime rate is not going down, is it?
No, it's really not. But then there's individual people who really deserve some scorn on this. And I would propose that someone who deserves some scorn on this would be Democratic Representative Cori Bush, member of the squad.
Newest member of the squad.
And she responded to Obama saying that snappy slogans like defund the police are a bad idea, because of course they are. Like, why would you turn around to the populace?
It's the worst optics in the world. I can't imagine why anyone would vote for a Democrat while anyone in the party was murmuring things like this. But anyway.
Yeah, even Obama could see through this, apparently. It was just like, stop it. And Cori Bush responded to this with, all due respect, Mr. President, let's talk about losing people. We lost Michael Brown Jr. We lost Breonna...
Is that the guy who was holding up a store?
I think so, with the cigarillos. Yeah. We lost Breonna Taylor. We're losing our loved ones to police violence. It's not a slogan. It's a mandate for keeping our people alive. Defund the police.
Oh, okay.
Our people. Our people.
Our people.
Don't know who that refers to, because her district, her city, St. Louis, how's the murder rate doing? You go to the next one? Highest it's been in 50 years. Oof.
So is our people just slang for criminals? Could be a euphemism for just the criminals.
Martyrs for the cause.
Yeah, well, they're really suffering under the oppression of the police, you see.
It's just so pathetic. But anyway, Cori Bush has to be the best one on this, because she decided to hire her own private security. Wasn't happy with the police security, I presume she's being given. Squad member Cori Bush spent $70,000 on private security, even though she called to defund the police.
Oh, God.
So she spent $59,000 on one security firm and then the rest on another security firm off her own money. I mean, at least she's spending her own money.
Yeah.
But for Christ's sake, just the public don't need any security, but I need round the clock. You can see there, $54,000. Sorry, $54,120 and 92 cents to RNS and T security counseling. But I mean, come on. She's a representative. She must get sent some very, very serious threats. Very serious. She's been posting a few of them on a Twitter account to gin up support because, I don't know, she's the only one ever who's ever gotten threats who's a politician.
I mean, you would think that if people are constantly getting threats, then maybe it'd be useful to have a police force.
I don't know how that meshes with BLM, to be honest. Anyway.
Well, not brilliantly, I guess, yeah.
But she tweeted out one of these threats that got a lot of suspicion. White supremacist violence, she labels it. And as you can see here, meeting... And then someone wrote in, kill a politician, wishing Cori. And then the next bit blanked out. And as you can see, the last one there. Topics to discuss, how you're a worthless piece of S. Except there's something a bit weird about this message she received. You see those asterisks?
Yeah.
You know what those are?
Well, necessary fields you have to fill in on this form.
And when do you see them? When you receive the message? Or when you're filling in the form?
When you're filling in the form, yeah.
And she's taken a screenshot of this.
Good point.
Which makes a lot of people wonder whether or not she wrote this herself and then didn't realize that she looked stupid taking a screenshot and then publishing it.
Also, some interesting projection, calling herself worthless.
Isn't that funny? So we go to the next one. You can see...
That's a really good point. How did she get that screenshot?
Some people using her website in which it has those questions.
And you have can see to be the person filling it out. Yeah.
Like, you can see the dots at the bottom, the asterisks, the questions there, and this guy's just like, well, I went to your website, and this is your contact form. The red asterisks mean required. This means that your screenshot was taken of the form before it was submitted. Did you fill in a form yourself and accidentally take the screenshot before it was submitted?
Who was it that did this a few years ago, where they were complaining that Google searches were encouraging people to search for, like, how to do X bad thing? And they took a screenshot of, like, if I type in my name or something, then all it comes down with is threats. It's like, that's your history. That's your search history. You can, because there's a little cross at the end where you can remove it from your search history. That's you. You type that in. Idiots.
Corey Smollett here. I'm under attack. I need private security. Defund the police. And also, what are the threats against you? These messages I wrote myself.
Yeah, this is a threat. What? Yeah.
I think there was a British MP who did this as well. I think it might have been David Lammy on one of them, where they wrote the message to themselves, and it really looked like they wrote it themselves.
Yeah, because it was his handwriting. Someone went through it and went through other things that he was known to have written, and yeah, the sort of loops on the E's and things like that is exactly the same as his own handwriting, and so it's like, right. And it's not like this is a new thing either. There have been loads of examples of Black Lives Matter activists who had to essentially call in their own threats. And there was one campus where there was literally video footage of this girl leaving a protest, going into the computer room of the university, and then logging on Twitter and sending the threat. And it's like, all of this is recorded. What are you doing?
Like, you're on the internet.
Yeah.
This lasts forever as well.
The demand clearly outstrips the supply when it comes to white supremacist terrorism.
So who's going to fill the supply? Black politicians?
Cory Bush.
I don't know what to say. It's just so embarrassing. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But yeah, they really are just going to Jussie Smollett themselves until you listen to the real problems in this country, which is white supremacists like Cory Bush.
If you enjoyed this segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can watch the full broadcast live every weekday at 1 p.m. UK time on lotuseaters.com.